Hello everybody! So today I'm making probably the last video on the topic of driver's license, and I will be talking about what factors you should consider when you are going to choose your driving school. And also I will make a small summary of all the expenditures that you will probably be spending in order to convert your national driver's license to a German driver's license. So before that, I have been asked two questions about my previous videos. One is that are the driving schools open 24/7 or at least 7 days a week during the working hours that are normally from 8 till 18 in Germany? Yeah. So the answer is of course no, they are not open on Saturdays and Sundays. However, for practical lessons, you can talk to your instructor, and there might be a possibility that he is happy to give you a lesson at least on Saturday. On Sunday, I doubt that if any instructor will agree to give you a practical lesson. So Saturday can be there, but you have to talk to him. And the other question is that this is quite similar, that if you can give this driving exam on a weekend, for example. So the answer to it is also no, you cannot give it, and mostly it's on Tuesday and on Thursday, depending upon which region you belong to, but you have to give it during a working day, and that also means that you have to take a holiday from your work, or at least a short break of 2-3 hours. So, how to choose your driving school? There is no actually no real method to it, or a formula to it. Um, First of all, really ask your friends and follow their advice. And there might be few at least who are around you and can tell you their experience with different driving school in your area, and it's very important. Uh, Probably this is the best thing you have to consider: the review of your friends, how they made their experience with different driving school, or at least with one driving school with which they got the license. If you don't have any friend who can refer you to any school, uh, what you can also do is go to all the available schools, or most of them, talk to them, to ask them. Um, so first of all, they will all have their different pricing, so you can choose on the basis of pricing. But what I have noticed is that the pricing is not a big issue. There is in the end a difference of maybe 25 to 30 euros, and which is actually not a lot in the end when you account the whole money you spend to get a driver's license. So go to the schools, ask them. For example, you can ask them a question like, I have heard that most of the students fail in their first attempt. So, what is your experience? What do you say? How many of your students have failed in the first exam? This will give you an idea that how good the school is, if most of their students are passing in their first attempt. Yeah. Or you can ask, what is the normal or the average number of hours a student needs to take in order to be good enough to be able to appear in a practical exam. So ask that kind of questions, and you have to more or less rely on your gut feeling in this case, but it will give you an idea. And don't be shy to ask the things, because these are the people who are there to train you, but they take really a lot of amount of money from you. Yeah. So if you have to give, if you have to take the exam again, or you have to register again for each of their service, they charge you money. So it's your right to ask whatever you need to ask in order to take your decision. The other factor could be that some schools offer some kind of good shine for your first aid course, for your eye test, or some other benefits. For example, if you refer another person and that person comes and joins their school and tells that this guy was has referred me to you, then you also get a rebate. So they do have all these kind of tactics. So think about it, and I would say that don't consider money as you're making as the part of making the decision, but really how many students pass the exam from that school in their first attempt. Yeah. Okay. Another factor is that you sometimes like to have the school which is nearest to you. So don't bother about it. First of all, for practical lessons, wherever you live in the city, they will come to pick you up, because to them it doesn't hurt at all, because they can always drive another student to your place, take you, drop the other student, and this becomes part of your driving lesson. And so it does not matter to them whether you come to the school to start the driving license lessons, or they pick you up from a particular location. So if the school is good but it's far away from your home, go and register there, rather than if the school is not so good and but it's near to your home. So you might be in the whole time period once or twice needed to go to the school personally. More or less you can do everything on phone. You can register for your practical lessons, you can register for your practical exam or theoretical exam, all on phone, and you just don't need to visit the school itself. So probably only the first time when you are going to register yourself and give your signature and stuff like this is the time you need to go to the school. So school near home is out of question. One more thing, that many schools try to attract students by showing what kind of cars they have. Big no. Big no to the cars. They might give you the lessons in the best or the very expensive car, but by the end of the day, most probably you will be not driving that car when you are having your own car. And also, some cars are big, and the vision of the mirrors is not so good, or the driving for an amateur driver is not so easy in those sophisticated cars. So normally, sometimes having expensive big car for your driving lesson and later on for your exam could be actually a negative thing overall. So I have found that small cars like Volkswagen Golf or like this are actually quite comfortable. You have a nice vision around your car and you can control the car very well. So don't go to the school just because they have some nice expensive cars in which they give the lessons. Yeah. So this is it with regards to how to choose driving school. And now I will just sum up all the expenditures that I told from the first video to this video involved in all of these different tasks that you will do for your driving license. And so the first thing is you need to do first aid and eye check, first aid course and the eye check, so it costs about 35 euros. Then you have to translate your national license, again 25 to 30 euros. You have to pay to Rathaus, so to say your city hall actually, about 42 euros for the proofing, for checking if your license and the translation is valid. Then there is cost about 30 to 35 or maybe 40 euros for the book or the software, or if you want to choose an app, maybe 3-4 euros there. Yeah. Okay. For theory test registration, normally it depends on the school, but as I said, it's about 40 to 80 euros. In my case, I paid 45, so I consider this as one cost, as one figure. And then on the day of theory exam, when you go to TÜV, you pay about 28 euros. Yeah, this is fixed cost, independent of which kind of school you have. And then the main chunk comes from the amount of practical lessons that you have to take. Yeah, Each lesson is about 45 minutes, costs from 30 to 40 euros. I paid 35, so and if you take about 10 lessons, so 350 euros I accounted for the practical lessons. Yeah, this can be variable, but I would really expect at least between 5 to 10 lessons you anyway need. Okay, then you have to register your exam for your practical exam, and the school normally takes 100 euros for this. Yeah, it is school dependent, can be less or more. Okay, then on the day of exam you have to pay the TOEF 85 euros, so it's about 84 euros and some cents, so 85 euros. Yeah, and then of course when you register to any driving school, they have some kind of registration fee also, which ranges from 100 to 150 euros. So I make the list of these expenditures for my particular case here, so you can just read it if you like. And so the sum overall is about 850 euros. Yeah, so this is the amount that you must be keeping in your mind if you want to convert your national driver's license to a German one. But remember, if you fail an exam, you have to do some more lessons, register again, and one repetition normally costs 250 euros or maybe 300 euros. So try to do it in your first attempt. That's it for the driving license. And if you have any questions, if you have any comments, and if something is still not clear or some point is missing in all these videos, so you feel free to communicate to me, and I will probably make another video or include it in my previous videos, so that everyone who needs help on this topic has a complete comprehensive information. Lastly, if you like it, share, like and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget that we all are foreigners on this earth. Bye bye.